Good afternoon and welcome to SnapTech IT's specialty webinar for the month of April 2026. My name is Ted Halsey. I'm Chief Revenue Officer with SnapTech IT and your co-host for today's event. Thanks for joining in for the live session. This webinar will be recorded and circulated to all registrants. You can always visit us also on our YouTube channel for all of our content on demand. Today's topic is AI for financial advisors, and I am joined by Craig W. Turner. Craig is the founder of Momentum AI, a nationally recognized speaker who helps organizations integrate AI into real-world operations. He has trained thousands of businesses and associations across North America with a focus on practical use cases that improve client communication, decision-making, and efficiency. Craig, thanks for joining us today.
I'm glad to be here. Love it.
Okay. Awesome. Well, one thing we always do, on these webinars, sometimes we have clients and prospective clients and people from the business community. We do like to just take 2 minutes to make sure everyone knows who SnapTech IT is. We are a cybersecurity first managed IT provider with operations in Atlanta, Georgia, Phoenix, Arizona, and San Francisco, California. When new clients come to us, they're often struggling with some aspect of their technology. Maybe their current provider is letting them down. Maybe they're losing sleep over their cybersecurity posture, or maybe just investment has been deferred and things are not running as smoothly as they should. Our philosophy is that technology in your business should be solving problems, not creating them. And so we look to help our clients with our proven process. And what we do is we put in place our best practices. We make sure that every single one of our clients has a technology plan, a predictable IT budget, and they're investing and raising the bar on cybersecurity so that their organization can work securely wherever your people are. Things will break with technology. It's just the nature of the beast. And when things do break, you want fast, friendly IT support as well. And so we're there at the ready when things do break. But ultimately, what we want our clients to have is the peace of mind and have a plan, and to know that they are operating at the most secure possible level. When we engage with clients, we do it in 2 different ways. For smaller organizations, if you don't have an IT manager or department, we offer what's called fully managed IT. We do it all. If you're a larger organization and you have an IT director, an IT manager, or a whole IT team, those organizations often are struggling with too many projects on the back burner, deferred cybersecurity investments. What we do with co-managed IT is we put together a customized and bespoke outsourcing solution for an organization where we come alongside the existing IT team and give them extra capacity and support. Our clients usually get started with us by having us do a cybersecurity assessment on their environment, or alternatively, engage in our AI Jumpstart program. More and more clients are thinking more holistically about their IT situation and also where they are in their AI journey. And they're looking to us to help jumpstart their efforts and turbocharge what they're doing. So today we're going to be, Craig is going to be doing a pretty deep training across the board for financial advisors, any folks who are in kind of the wealth advisory space, with specific guidelines on how to really raise the bar on what you're doing with AI, recalibrate your thinking, develop new skills and capabilities in your organization. So these are some of the topics he's going to be addressing. I really want to encourage folks to ask questions as we go along. Craig's going to be leading the conversation. I'll be monitoring the Q&A log, and Craig welcomes questions as we go. So please drop them in there, and I'll be monitoring the Q&A log and taking it from there. So with that, Craig, let me turn things over to you and have you present from your machine.
Okay.
Okay. So I've made you presenter.
Okay, and everybody should now see slides and
okay, great. Okay,
slides
great.
in ChatGPT.
Yeah, and we slides in your prompt window. Yep.
There we go.
Okay.
Beautiful. Okay. So thank you, Ted. I appreciate it, and thanks everybody for being here. Thanks to SnapTech IT. I'm listening to you talk. It's especially when the piece you said about having somebody there that knows what they're doing to help. And I go back one of the things I watched the AI world change, and the Super Bowl commercials were very interesting to me, because the Super Bowl commercials made it sound like you can do anything you want with AI and there's nothing stopping you. And the truth is, yes, but there's stuff stopping you. And the one commercial where they were going around the office and everybody was like, I made an app, I made an app, I made an app. And it sounds cool, except making an app and using an app and troubleshooting an app and fixing it when it breaks, that's when you call SnapTech IT. So I think Ted, I think there's a whole business there for just fixing people's apps that they make and think that they know what they're doing. But I'm glad to be here. I appreciate it. I'm going to start with this deep research. This is kind of, I like to start with a little bit of wow factor. I'm going to throw a lot at you today in the next 50 minutes or so. At the end of this, you're going to get the video, you're going to get anything I do on screen and the slides. So you don't have to furiously take notes, because you're going to get everything. Also, as Ted said, if you have a question, go ahead and ask it while I have everything on the screen. You know, we don't need to wait till the end. I'd rather do it while it's right there. I can't see the Q&A while I'm doing all this, so Ted's going to kind of tip me off if somebody asks a question, but please feel free to do it. So we're going to start with Educate Me on Tariffs in deep research. So deep research is an amazing tool if you're not using it. All your tools are in the plus menu here. I'm clicking on deep research, and the prompt that I'm going to use is, I think every time I click out of the window, let me minimize this. So I'm going to move you over here, Ted. There we go. Okay, the prompt I'm going to use. You are a macroeconomist preparing a quick briefing for U.S. financial advisors on the latest tariff environment. Please deliver a clear overview. This is what we want: 3-bullet snapshot, historical flashback, you know, and a bunch of things in this research. Use plain English, skip jargon, cite at least 3 reputable sources in parentheses. I'm going to send that. Now, deep research is going to think for about 10 minutes, all right? But it's going to give us back an 8 to 10 page paper on what we asked for. I'm going to put that, I'm going to start it, and then I'm going to put it in a back window, and we're going to keep going, because it's going to cook while we're talking. But you're going to see at the end the power of that tool. So why am I giving this seminar? So the SnapTech IT guys and I met on LinkedIn. If you think LinkedIn doesn't work, it does. So I am an AI consultant. I started on November 30th, 2022, the day that ChatGPT was made available to the public. And I said to my audience, which is mostly chambers of commerce, but I also do manufacturing, not-for-profit, small business, financial advisors. I said to them, look, I know you don't have time to stay on top of this every day, so I'm going to, and I will share the best stuff with you. And as Ted said, I've trained more than 2,500 organizations around the country. Our niche that we've taken and seem to be doing well with is we take rapidly moving technology and we break it down for the everyday user. You would think that that's nonsensically simple, but it's not. The platforms, the companies, they're full speed ahead on coding and big picture stuff, and nobody's really. I mean, there's trainings out there, but in large part, they're not really talking to the small business owner. They're not talking to the individual. I'm like, okay, I will, and I'll keep doing it. So, training turned into you know, speaking at conferences and keynotes and things like that, and then it turned into building. So I've developed a number of apps and in different spaces, small business, chambers of commerce, manufacturing, and build those apps and different AI solutions customized for those audiences. What's really cool right now is the days of plug and play software are over, because you don't have to have plug and play software. You can actually create exactly what you need for yourself, your lifestyle, your way of doing business. It's pretty fascinating. We're not going to get the building today, but you know, maybe that's something we could talk about for the future. But hopefully we inspire you to even start to think along those lines. Doing this real quick as an AI glossary. You're going to get this later. These are kind of the terms and phrases and things that you have come your way in AI, and I think a lot of people just let them pass. I have 2 highlighted there. The one at the bottom is fine tuning. I think probably at this point, you know that the more interaction you have with your AI, the more it's going to be able to respond to you. But you can also, and I have a slide on it, you can also teach your AI exactly the way you want to do things. So that's an important thing, because the better you're able to set up your AI, the better it's going to do for you, and the more time it's going to save you down the road. Second is agent. I have that highlighted up above because the word agent has been taken over by marketing, unfortunately. And a lot of people are saying it's an agent that it isn't really an agent. It's just an automation that uses AI. An agent actually can do things for you. All right. The simple example is go to Instacart, or here's a recipe I'm doing tonight. Go to Instacart, order the food, pay for it, have it delivered to my house. All right. And all that takes me now 10 seconds to do, instead of having to do all those steps myself. That's what an agent can do, is move forward through a process and make these decisions along the way for you. What decision would you make there? Well, I need olives. Do I care what brand of olive I get? No, the AI can just make that decision for you. So that's why I highlight that word, because you're going to be pitched agents, you're going to be pitched agentic AI. And in many cases, it's not what you think it is, and it's not what they're trying to sell you. So just you'll see. We'll continue to talk about that more as we go here. So I focus on what's called the AI mindset. We're going to do prompts here. You're going to learn how to prompt, but we're not going to paint it as how to prompt. We're going to paint it as why and when to prompt. So the mindset I want you to start to think about through this, and hopefully by the end, is, can AI do this? And the answer is usually yes. I want you to look at your life and your day and everything you have to do with your clients or your admin and say, can AI be a part of this relationship here? And that's where we want you to go. It's not just about how do I prompt, it's what else is on my desk today that I could use AI for? So, but I want you to look at it through this lens. Staff time, again, I'm sure a lot of you are solopreneurs, but if you have team, think about your staff or yourself. How much time? Everybody knows you can save time with AI. It used to take me an hour to write a blog, and now it's now I can do it in 30 seconds. Okay, well, what are you doing with that other 59 and a half minutes? Are you going and watching TV, or are you putting that into business development? That's important, especially if you have a team. New projects. Think about what revenue generating opportunities have you not thought of that AI can now put you in position to do. And then finally, what I love is the pie in the sky stuff. What could I not possibly do 4 years ago, right, that I can do today because of AI? I'll give you a quick example, even though it has nothing to do with financial advisors, but just today, what I'm working on, I run the Chamber of Commerce in Niagara Falls. It's an interim role. I'm done, thankfully, soon, so I can get back to growing my business. But one of the biggest pain in the butt things, and that's how I start, one of the biggest pain in the butt things, we have our awards luncheon coming up, and everybody bought tables, but nobody told me their meal orders. All right, so I have to go back to everybody. Do you want the chicken or the steak or the salad or whatever? So it takes hours to do. It takes a long time to get everybody to do it. So I used AI, and I just created a portal that I send it to them. They click it, and it comes back to me, and I am absolutely thrilled right now. So I'm right. Right before we started, I emailed my board chair, and I said, "Oh my goodness, you're going to love this. I just redefined the industry." But again, that was me this morning saying, how do I attack this one challenge and get it off my plate? So I want to give you a leadership lens, just one way to think about this. That's the same one I did before. It didn't copy. Evaluate the potential ROI of using Copilot. Now you'll notice everything I'm doing is ChatGPT, but everything I'm telling you is, most of what I'm telling you is platform agnostic. If you use Google or Copilot or ChatGPT or Claude, what I'm telling you still is relevant today. So I threw this in. Evaluate the potential ROI of using Copilot to better organize my work as a financial advisor. Assess the time saved, cost efficiency, reduce friction, any resulting gains in the things listed there. All right. So this is one of the key. Again, I'm glad they brought me in for the training, but one of the things that is, I think, is a little known secret with AI is ask AI how to do AI. Really, if there's something you want to do in the real world, you ask AI, how do I do this in the real world, and it will coach you through. All right, so we don't need to go over the whole thing here, but it's telling us, it's going to give us a strategy on how to do it. You will notice on mine I have thinking here going, so there's different levels, instant thinking and pro. I am a ChatGPT Pro user, so I pretty much don't ever get throttled. I never get bounced out. So I pretty much keep it on thinking all the time. Most of the time for you, you're going to have it on instant, which is get a quicker answer. Thinking is where you want to get a deeper answer to your questions. Like I said, I just keep it on. Yeah, so it's going to continue to break this all down for you. It's fantastic. So I'm going to let that keep going. So why a paid account matters. Okay, this is important. This is my tough love slide. All right. I'm assuming that some of you are, if not many of you, are using a free ChatGPT account or free Gemini, free Cloud, whatever you're doing. It's important that you get a paid account. All right, and you don't need the pro version like I have. That's overkill. But the $20 a month, you want to get it, and the main thing is for security. All right. So if you look at my slide there, all right, so we got this whole thing here. I'll show you real quick. All right, I'm going to go to my settings here, and I'm going to go to settings. And of course, they changed the layout on me, so now I got to find it again here. Where did they put it now? This happens. Well, when you do live sessions, all of a sudden everybody data controls. Here we go. It never had a scrolling menu this way. All right, this one right here, improve the model for everyone. Notice how I have it off. Okay, if you're using a free ChatGPT or free Copilot, whatever you're using, that you cannot turn that off. So there's a reason things are free. And it's because they're using your data to train the model. That doesn't mean somebody's sitting there waiting for you to type a password in and they're going to jump on it, but they are using your data to improve the model. In your world, especially financial advisors, you want to have this off, and you can only turn it off on a paid version. If you have a team, then ownership and institutional use becomes important, because I just actually posted about this on LinkedIn today. There's a thing that happens is the company either has banned AI or has forcing you to use this tool. Okay, so say Copilot. We're forcing you to use Copilot because we already bought Microsoft 365. The employees are still using ChatGPT and they're doing work stuff on ChatGPT. One, it's not secure. Two, they're not, when they leave the company, they're not going to go through everything and pull all the work relevant chats and send them to you. They're just going to shut it down and be done. So you lose all that institutional knowledge, use all the work that was done while you were paying the person. It's important to have that paid account. But even if it's just security is the thing that's the most important for you. That's my tough love slide. So the AI mindset, and again, it's about being able to look at your day and saying what on my plate can I use AI for? And it starts with these four things. One is commitment to using it, so that's getting the $20 subscription, having a policy. Again, I know with financial advisors, you're licensed by somebody and you're part of a team somewhere. They should have an AI policy, and then empower you to do it. I mean, one of the toughest things right now are the companies that say we are not using AI. Well, your company is going to fall way behind very quickly because your competitors are using AI. So then next is effective use. So focus on tangible results, which is the funny thing is we know all the awesome stuff that AI can do and we get wowed by it every day. But the most powerful stuff it can do is get rid of the most boring, mundane things that you have to do on your plate, your admin, your billing, your invoices, your spreadsheets. That it's funny because it does we're putting a man on Mars with AI. But the real power for us is that it does my spreadsheet for me, which is funny to think about, but it's true. Envisioning the possibilities. What does AI let us do that we wouldn't even think of 3 years ago? And then training and hiring is, again, you're here today learning, which is great. So how do you individually and any people you hire understand that AI is going to be a part of it? We build systems. One of the biggest problems is companies will build systems. The team will use it for 3 days and then they'll be like, no, I like my other way better. And next thing you know, you've invested all this time in a system that nobody's using. So it's important that policy is we've built something and now our team is actually going to use it. So like I said at the beginning, we're not focused here on how to prompt. You're going to learn that from the prompts just as I'm doing. We're focused on about why and when. All right. What is on my desk? What is on my plate? Daily, monthly, weekly, whatever the case may be, that I can look at and say, AI can get rid of 50% of that, or even 10%. AI can get me started. AI can, you're not looking for AI to wipe the whole thing off your plate. You're looking for AI to give you an advantage when you're doing it. And I have all the logos on there. Like I said, we're agnostic here. Whatever platform you like, I always tell people, try them all. All right, and then use whichever one is best for you. That's where you spend the $20 a month, is get that. A lot of people, a lot of people moved from ChatGPT to Claude last month because Claude got in a fight with Trump and the Department of, they got in a fight with Trump and the Department of Defense, and people are all of a sudden moving over to Claude and everything. And I'm like, what a silly reason to change your platform. I mean, if Claude's better for you, that's great, but why change? Because something happened in Washington, you're going to change your the way you do your business. So I just try them, whatever's best for you. That's the one that you make the investment in. All right, I put this up. I'm going to enlarge this slide just so you can see it better. This is just, when we talk, we say educate. Whenever we do a presentation, educate, inspire, and empower. Most of this is going to be about empowering, but I want to inspire you just to look at the things that we're doing at our company. So I think everybody knows about content creation. All right, we're doing it all day for us and our clients. Probably saves us 15 hours a month. But then the next piece is content optimization. So a lot of people, when you talk to them, I'm using AI and it saves me so much time. And the first thing I ask them is, but are you getting better results out of it? And that's really the important thing, because when you talk about content optimization, whether it's your newsletter, your social media posts, AI knows more about the algorithms than you do. All right. So ripping off a AI blog and putting it in, yes, it took some time off your plate. Could it be better than you're going to do? Maybe, yes, but you're not optimizing. You want to optimize those and say, I want the most people to see this. I want the most people to click on it. And it works. Again, AI knows the algorithms better than you do. Prospecting has been phenomenal. I have the deep research going in the other window. I can go to my AI and said, I need 20 companies within my 20 target profile companies to reach out to this week. Here they come. It'll find as much information as it can on them, and it's a tremendous help. New business lines, I'm going to talk about creating about strategy in a little bit, but a lot of the business lines that I've had that I've launched in the last year and a half or so have all come with me starting with opening an AI window and saying I have an idea. Usually while driving. I'm talking to ChatGPT the entire time I'm driving, and usually I have an idea, and I'll show you how to bring that to life. Coding, again, I have minimal coding experience from the past, but I've developed 4 apps and 6 websites in the past month alone, probably. And it just changed the game. I did our website with the chamber. I wanted to do just the homepage. So I said, yeah, give me best practices for the homepage because I don't like our homepage. And ChatGPT said, here's my advice. Do you want me to do it for you? And I was like, what are you talking about? And it said, just sign me into the website and I'll do it. So I'm like, blah. Within an hour, the whole website was done. And it wasn't just design, it was cleaning up 15 years of dead pages and tools and all that. It was unbelievable. So now I've gone and I've done all my websites, and it's just fantastic. SEO, again, if you're on the internet, you want people to be able to find your page, and GEO is the next phase of that. I'm not going to talk too much about GEO. I just want you to know what it is, because that's a whole hour presentation on its own. But GEO is, SEO was optimize your site for Google, which we've been doing all these years. GEO is optimizing your site so that AI can find it. All right. And for folks like you who might be solopreneurs or small companies, the cool thing about GEO is it's not based on Google. SEO, I can have the best website in the world and some bigger company can come by me down the page, right? GEO, you can't do that. So my company, I'm a one-person shop. AI for Chambers of Commerce, we are number 2 in the world, only behind the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. All right, I'm going to go get them too. So, but just something to think about. Again, that's a whole other topic, but I want you to know what it is. We use AI image and video with almost every LinkedIn post we do, and 4 years ago that was, you either had to pay for stock footage, stock videos, and stock photos. Now it just enhances the storytelling. I talked about the websites, and then the DIY stuff is great. Something, again, no offense, Ted, because you do want to have, when you're messing around with your computer, you do want to have a professional looking at it, but thing breaks or you don't know how to do this form or something like that, you just take it in. Where previously you might have called somebody before. I do say, look, one of the things I say on the do-it-yourself is don't look at it as your solution. All right, whether it's an IT person, a lawyer, an accountant, a doctor, look at it as the first start, and then ask for the questions that you're going to ask Ted. If your computer breaks, I'm not looking at ChatGPT to fix my computer. I'm looking at, I need to call Ted, and I want to be able to give him the best information so that they can, they can advise me on what to do. Same with the doctor. I'll go in to the doctor, and rather than sitting there floundering, I know the 5 questions I need to ask based on how I've been feeling the last month. So that's a huge one, and it's very applicable to business as well. So I want to talk about a prompt, a strong prompt, okay? And one of the things that happens again is people get excited because they can save time, and saving time is not the whole thing. So here's a quick, simple, draft me a blog post explaining the 50-30-20 budgeting rule. All right, so it's going to write me a blog, and you've probably done this. It's going to write me a blog that gets the job done. It gets it off my plate, gives me a blog to post. We all know how content is. It's Tuesday, I got to write a blog. This will get the job done for you. So what I'm going to do is that finishes, I'm going to take it to the next level. All right. You are a personal finance writer creating a compliance-ready blog for Millennial and Gen Z readers. Please craft an 800-word article. Opens with a hook referencing it, clearly defined. So now I'm giving it all this instruction on where to go. All right. And this is where ChatGPT voice comes in. So if I just click this dictate here, the microphone, I can just say all this and just kind of spew my ideas, brainstorm, brain dump into the window, and it will do it. Now, what this is going to do is give us a much more targeted blog that that's going to meet our real world needs. That's what you want to think about, your real world needs. What are we trying to accomplish here? We want clients, right? And we want to educate our existing customers so that they're happy with our service. But I always break it down over here. If you see what, how, and why, all right? People know what. Write me a blog about whatever, all right? Now you add the how. Now you add the how and why, all right? An 800-word article. Use plain English, no jargon. So we've got the how. Now here's the why. This is what we're trying to accomplish. We're trying to address common misconceptions. We're trying to have a compliant call to action, inviting we lay it right out. Inviting readers to schedule a 15-minute consultation. That's what we want out of this blog. We didn't say that above. How would AI know to do that for us? All right. So now, look how detailed this is. You guys can use this blog if you want to. It looks like it's really good. All right. So now you've got something that actually is workable and is going to yield results in the real world. Again, look at my thing. My prompts are sometimes longer than the output that I get, but I know what I want. I'm not taking the time to craft it into a perfect situation here. I said above about I put right in the prompt, what's the goal here? I want to invite readers to schedule a 15-minute consultation. All right. That is what don't be afraid to say that. I need this newsletter blurb to get 15 registrations. I need 20 people to click on the link to the post. I need 40% open rate on this newsletter. That gives the AI a direction on where to go. Talked about training your AI. Again, the more you use it, the better it's going to be. My AI now has 3.5 years of me in it. So it wrote a blog for me last week or a couple weeks ago. I swear I stepped back and I'm like, I would not change a word. You have so captured, which is a little scary, of course, but you have so captured my voice. I would not change a word. Custom instructions, this is if you go into your personalization here, and again, all of the platforms have this. You can change, you put in information about yourself, put your about in here, and think of this as the foundation for every prompt you make from here on in. That's what's in there. Put in whatever you want. Put your favorite movies in there. It'll interact with you based on everything that you know. But at the very least, it should know your business. It should know your style. GPTs, we're going to talk about a little bit. Those are automations that you can build. I'm going to just keep an eye on the time because I do want to show you one or two. And then specific prompting is the one I have on here that people don't really know about. You can just ask and say, remember this. So just a great example, sometimes when I write, I use the word actually too much, which I hate. So I have gone in and all I have to do is go in this window and type. I don't like when I use the word actually. Don't use that when you write for me anymore, and remember that. All right, and it will plug that into the memory, and then it won't do it anymore. Does it always work? A lot of people say they've tried to get it to stop using the M dashes and the typical AI stuff that actually it's not using M dashes, so we won't complain about them. But and AI, it'll just do what it wants sometimes, but sometimes you have to remind it. So data is critical, all right? And I like this example about data because we have to think about data differently. Data, all we're doing with AI, and this is where you separate from the Terminator and the take over the world stuff. What is AI doing? It's taking data, you give it a process, and it gives you an outcome. And that's all it is. It doesn't matter whether it's driving vehicle or self-driving vehicles or putting a man on Mars or curing cancer. It's all the same thing. And the example I use is the iPhone. 8:30 in the morning, if you type the word good, what does it say? It suggests morning or sunshine or something. That's data. What's the data? At 8:30, it's 8:30 in the morning. At 8:30 in the morning, most people in the world type morning after they type good. You personally probably do that. So it's taking that data, you give it a process, and it's giving you the next example. And this is where data collection becomes important because the better your data, the better your output's going to be. Sorry, I have. You can, if you've never attached a file, you can do it just like Windows. You can you can drag it over, or you can click the plus and add files here. I just dragged it over here. So, and here's my prompt I'm going to do. So this is just, I made this up. This is just a dummy file of a client spreadsheet and some notes from previous meetings. And each one I kind of put there, are they aggressive? Are they conservative? And what I want to know is basically I'm prepping for how do I do this? It's test client spreadsheet and prior meeting notes. Oh, prepare talking points for each client review meeting. So we're doing for each of them. Sorry, I stumbled over because I thought I had said I was presenting to these people, but. So it's reading the data now, and then based on my previous notes that I've gotten meetings with them, it's going to give us, it's going to make the recommendations to us.
So Craig, just to clarify, in this example, like the spreadsheet actually has like real data from a client, and now you're doing an analysis with that data.
Yeah, here I'll just pull it over so you can see what it looks like. All right, so we just did, again, it's all made up information here, the occupation, risk profile, primary goal, main concern, last meeting notes. So it's just analyzing that data, and it's going to make some recommendations on moving forward with each of them.
Oh, got it, okay.
I'm going to let that think just for time's sake. I'll move over to another window, and then we'll go back and see what that looks like. So act like, or you notice I used it earlier. You notice for the one prompt, I said you are a financial advisor, communication specialist, or something like that. This is a pro tip here. So AI has trillions upon trillions of pieces of information. You don't need trillions upon trillions of pieces of information. You need marketing, you need HR, you need communications. All right. So what you do is you pinpoint it and you say you are going to act for this prompt. You are going to act like this. You are a financial services copywriter with a knack for turning seminar details into irresistible web copy. I'm giving a talk on future-proof portfolios. Here's what it's all about. You know, please draft 300 words of compelling web page copy that I can put for my event listing. Here's the prices. Here's the rest. Include a call to action button. Include a one-sentence compliance disclaimer. All right. I'm going to do 2 of these in a row here. Use an energetic but professional tone. Again, remember what I said about data. That's all data that you're putting in to get it to do the what you want it to do in real life. All right, so that's your, you know, there's your website blurb that you can throw up there. But what I want to do, again, and your world is a little bit different than a lot of the audiences I deal with. You have to deal with strong compliance issues. So now we're going to change the personality. You are a financial services compliance expert specializing in SEC and FINRA advertising roles. Please review that copy we just created and look for non-compliant or high-risk language. This is how I want you to do it. Give me issues and explanations, revised copy if needed, and a suggested disclaimer in case that one we had isn't good enough. Here, look at this right, the first line. This is strong marketing language, but in a financial services context, it can imply a level of protection or durability that may not be achievable. This is always an interesting thing. Write something for me and then send AI back in and say, did you do a good job on it based on what I, you know, what I really need. So here's the revised copy. And we're good here. Excellent. So let me just go back to this other one here. Here's the client data. Yeah, so it actually gave us a meeting prep for each of them. That's even better than I thought I was going to do. That's great. Especially since I have another slide called meeting prep. All right, so I like to teach themes. You know, rather than saying, here's how you prompt this, I want to say, here's the theme. Here, remember I said, what and where throughout my day can AI be helpful with? Well, let's go to some things. The first is strategy. All right. I mentioned that a number of my products that I've launched have started like this. Our firm is planning to start a new podcast, Wealth and Wellness Show. Problem is no one on our team has ever done that. Our task is to build a podcast so it doesn't look like we've just started a new podcast. Means we need high quality guests right at the beginning. And if you're starting a podcast, you can use it. We have 2 primary things going for her. Our founder was formerly on Channel 2, and we are named and well known and respected in the region. So can you draw up a 6-month plan for us, including pre and post launch, with actionable steps on both the technical side and the content side? So typically my things, I'm driving and I have an idea, X, Y, and Z. What do you think? And ChatGPT will come back and give me, you know, real, you know, a feedback on it, and I'll be like, you know what, I like it. Give me a 6-month plan. Now I'm a serial entrepreneur. I probably have like 5 new business ideas every day, and it's been a place for me to collect them. I may not use them tomorrow. I may never use them, but I've got them around. They're not rattling around my head anymore. And when I do go back for them, look at this. I've got a whole strategy. Month 1, month 2. Month 3, I got the whole strategy laid out for me, ready to go. And in a couple of slides, I'm going to show you how to actually take that prompt to the next level on top of it.
Yeah. Hey, Craig, just a quick question. You know, it gets a little complicated understanding all the different licensing models from the different AI subscriptions. Yep. I think you said you've got a ChatGPT Pro subscription, yes. Which is that the $200 a month?
That's the $200 a month, yeah.
Right. Okay, so that's a pretty heavy investment, you know, compared to what most people are thinking about. Is there something? I mean, the results you're getting here are pretty impressive, right? Yeah. And they're pretty fast. Is there anything comment to make in terms of like the difference you'll get if you're on, say, the Plus subscription, which might only be $20 a month versus the $200? I mean, comment a little bit on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And not, you don't need the $200 subscription. I have it because this is what I do for a living, and I'm coding all day, and there's a lot of different. I can't afford to get throttled. So a great example is deep research here. Okay, look when I well, it's not doing it. When I hover, I have like 400 deep researches a month to use. I will never run out. All right. If in the Plus, I think they give you 25 a month, which is plenty. You don't need to do it all that much. There's some other features that, typically for the Pro, what happens when a new feature comes out, I get it first. All right.
Okay.
I do get this. I don't think you have this Pro thinking. All right. I don't use it all that often. I'll use it if I'm like, sometimes I'll be going to bed and I'll be like, okay, I'm going to bed. I want you to do this whole project for me and have it waiting in the morning. All right. Most everybody does not need that. So the $20 version is fine for what I think most everybody on this call will need.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So you see, we got a big 6-month strategy here, and notice I'm doing it on Thinking. You have access to Thinking on the Plus version. Second is I took the thing off, or it's in white. I think it's in white. I call it attacking the blank page. So this is another one again. This is a lot of, I think everybody knows about copywriting, but I'm going to take it to the next level a little bit. As a financial advisor dedicated to keeping my clients informed about financial planning topics, I'm organizing a seminar called Navigating Tomorrow: The Future of Financial Planning. Here's what I would like this seminar to do. Please draft an overview of the seminar for me, suggest possible guest speakers, and create a list of 10 insightful moderator questions to facilitate engaging discussions. So again, this is, I know one of the tough things for folks is sometimes the blank page. And even with prompting, you don't necessarily, I don't know where I want to go with this. I know my outcome at the end. I want to land 3 new clients. I want to do this. I know who's in the room, but where do I start? So it's just a way to get at it at the blank page. A lot of this, sometimes for this prompt, I will use the boss is coming in tomorrow and I have to give a presentation, but I got my daughter's concert tonight. Just lay out the presentation for me and then we'll work on it together. That kind of stuff can be super powerful. But again, you may never, as a financial advisor, you may not run seminars. That might not be your thing, but you probably should be. So here's how you get started. And you'll notice, like ChatGPT now always, I can take the next step for you. It'll recommend the next step for you, which is a great help sometimes. So audit is another one that I think is very powerful. And what I'm gonna do, if I'm in a live crowd, I ask somebody for their website to audit, but I'm just gonna use my own website for now. And basically what it is you're an expert web designer. Please review our company's website and analyze its structured content, user experience, and visual design. Look at it through all these different lenses here. Ensure the feedback is actionable and focused on both technical and content-driven improvements to help us maximize our online presence. So it's going to go to the website, it's going to look at it, it's going to give me feedback. You can also say, here's my website and here's a competitor's, compare them and see who's doing what right. The reason I like this prompt is because I use it for everything, not just websites. So I will write a LinkedIn post, I will say optimize this. I write a newsletter, I say optimize it. We set up a trade show booth, we take a picture and say optimize the trade show booth. This is a good one, a little trick for you as you're doing business prospecting. Use it on people you're talking to because it blows their mind. So every time I walk into a coffee shop and I'm talking to them, I'd be like, boom, I take a picture of their front counter space and I say, does this counter space induce people to make additional purchases at the register? And it comes up with a whole report. You give it to them and they're blown away. They're telling hey, that financial advisor guy showed me this thing on AI that's really awesome. So you get that extra touch in there. It's a little AI wow factor trick that you can do. So you'll see it's given me a pretty detailed report. Funny thing is here, AI designed my website, so anything it's saying here is it's judging itself. So, but I will look at that again to see how it goes. Meeting prep. I thought I had this one coming up. I really like this one, and I think it's particularly powerful for the folks on this call. All right, I got a bunch here to copy. I go back to the other one so we're not waiting. All right, meeting prep. All right, so here's what I did. Basically, sorry, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but I have these fictional clients. Here's a profile, my opinion from knowing them. Here are the email chains that we've had together. All right. Here are the notes from our previous meeting. And here are the questions I want to know. What matters to the clients right now? What concerns may be driving their question? Basically, what I'm saying is, I want to walk into our next meeting prepared and make it a meaningful meeting for them. So, but here's all the information that I have. Remember what I said about data? We got to think about data differently. Here's all the information I've had, not profiling them, not infringing on their privacy, just everything we've talked about. Now let's make this a stronger meeting. I used this yesterday for a meeting, and it's just absolutely golden. And I want to put this to you. Can you imagine walking into every meeting you're going into, knowing how the meeting is going to go before it happens? That's what I love about this. So the last theme that I'm going to give you is brainstorming. And this is a good one, again, if you don't know where to start. You got an idea of where you want to be, but you don't. I'll flip over here as that goes. Here's my rest of my website analysis. Our local Chamber of Commerce has offered me an exciting opportunity to be featured in an article in their July newsletter. Problem is, I'm not good at this. I have no idea what I should talk about. Can you ask me 5 questions one at a time to spur my thinking? I'd like this article to come out well. Basically, I'm asking AI to interview me and pull stuff out of my brain that might not come to the forefront if I'm just trying to do it myself. So what do you most want readers of the Chamber newsletter to understand about you or your business after they finish the article? I'm not going to go through the whole thing just for time, but you answer, it'll interview you for the 5 questions, and then it'll kind of give you the positioning on where to go from here. This is another great one for while you're driving, using the voice. Just interview me. I have these ideas. I have not had time to sit down and type them out. Just interview me. And that's a powerful prompt. So let's go back to the deep research. I just want to show you, because you want to talk about wow factor. Here is the paper they gave us, and I'll give you this. Here's the paper they gave us. Look at it. It's got charts in it and graphs and everything. Here, and it's got all your references. People ask, well, what about references? They're all right here. All right, and that's important for you because you guys can't be out in public quoting things that are wrong. So this is what you get with deep research when you really want to dig into a topic, and it does not have to be just like data and economics and stuff like that. I tell the story. We had at the Chamber, my first board meeting, we had given an award to a person that the mayor does not like, and it turned into this big fight across the table about the award and back and forth. So as soon as the meeting was over, I went to deep research and I said, okay, I got to know everything about this situation, and it wrote me a paper on this interpersonal situation between the mayor and this woman. And now all of a sudden, 10 minutes later, I was all caught up. So it's a powerful, powerful tool. So back to the mindset. Can AI do this? The short answer is yes. All right. But look at your day, look at your life through that lens. Can AI do this? And don't worry about how it happens. Just say, if I could give 30% of this over to AI, 50%, 70%, how is it going to help make my business stronger, serve my customers more effectively, or help me tell a better story? So I gave you before, I have an idea. Okay, can you make me a 6-month launch plan for that idea? The way that you take that to the next level, and I love these prompts. I used them in a presentation and it resonated really well. But the third one, I'm sure some of you on this call did that thing on Facebook back in February where you said, based on everything in my life, make a caricature about me. All right, everybody was doing it. It was good content, but then it's not there. No, I want you to use that now. Based on everything you know about me, break that 6-month plan down into actionable steps. Because if you just say, give me a 6-month plan, it may say, okay, build this app and you'll be off and running. And you're like, I don't know how to build an app. So now ask the question this way, and it's going to say, okay, you either need to find somebody who can build an app or learn these things or take this course, or, you know, and then it's a great way to really personalize what you're doing. Ted, do I have 4 minutes left?
Yeah, just about.
Okay,
Yep.
I'm gonna press on with GPTs quickly, and then we'll bring it home. GPTs are automations that you can use, and they're over here on the side. Okay, these are all GPTs that I've created. If you go to explore GPTs, all right, there are many here, but the important thing here is right here, create a GPT. I'm not going to do it right now, but they are automations where basically if you take something that you do actually I'm going to go back over there. If you take something that you do all the time, weekly, monthly, whatever the case may be, and you can automate the process, build the machine, and then all you have to do is plug in the data to make it work, you're going to save all kinds of time. So basically that's what you're doing, is building a machine. I'm going to show you two real quick. I just got to find where they went. No, that's not the one I want. It bounces it down. Come on, you're not doing it. This is, oh my goodness. Do you guys have that problem where your mouse just takes off on you? There we go. This one, networking follow-up connector. Maybe I'll just do this one just for time. But I want to show you. So one of the things we all know, because we all do networking, the most difficult thing about networking is follow-up. All right. So what I'm doing here is I got a short list of people I met at the event last night, what their company is, and one thing we talked about. All right. I'm going to hit send, and the machine here, what it's already trained to do is create. Oh, it's going to ask me for my name. What it's trained to do is write a short LinkedIn message that you can send to them with your, with your connection request. All right. It's the right number of characters and everything that you need to do it. It talks about, I was impressed by your dedication as a marathon runner. But this is, you think about follow-up after a networking event, this is probably 45 minutes worth of work that we just did in 10 seconds just by having the machine already built. We don't have to reinterpret it. So
Craig, just a quick question. Did you develop this GPT on your own, or was this something you found in the catalog of available GPTs?
This one's mine. This one's mine that I developed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The catalog is interesting because there's some good stuff in there, but there's a lot of garbage in there too, so it's hard to find stuff sometimes. What Ted's talking about is there's a GPT store, and so I like this GPT. I think other people would like it, so I can put it in the store, and I have like many people have used this GPT. But to my slide here, when do you what are the same things that you're doing over and over again? Well, can you build your newsletter structure? Can you build your meeting agenda structure, your event listings? Can you get your social media post style in there, your daily digest, invoice cover letter? Think about, that's what you want to think about, the automations. And again, automations, I was talking to somebody earlier, the second, like if we did a second hour, it would be automations. That's what we would focus on, because they are involved in their own. We have a bunch. We've got this one. I do so many meeting minutes. I created one to do meeting minutes for me. One of the things I do, I'm very big on LinkedIn, but I have Facebook and X, but I don't pay attention to them. So I'll write a LinkedIn post that I may spend a half hour on, and then I'll put it in this thing, and it'll transpose it into 5 X posts and 1 Facebook post for me. Then I have fun ones. My dream interpreter is insane. It's like you wake up, you speak your dream into it, and it's like it's in your soul. It's incredible. So the prompt I give, and this is a prompt you can use, what's one daily, weekly, monthly task that I do that I could turn into a 1-click automation? I'll skip that one for now, but I want to give you a challenge as we close here. Pick one internal task, and in the next 30 days, if you have a team, do it as a team. Use AI to automate it and make it stronger. All right. If you need ideas, that's my website there. Right at the top of my website, there is there's a form that you can fill out. You put your name, you put your industry, and you put one challenge you're having, and it'll give you an easy, an intermediate, and an advanced AI solution for you to look at. So it's actually pretty cool. I'll be done there. There's my website. Please connect with me on LinkedIn. I like to say when we close these are, this is not the closing of a door. I want to have this relationship with you because if you have questions, I want you to come to me. And if you do something cool, I want you to come to me too and tell me about it. But one thing I did want to say, Ted, before I turn it over to you, Nathan and I talked. One thing that's interesting about this is I'm giving you this right now as a snapshot. Some giant upgrade could come out tomorrow. It just happens. So as you get this video, just understand that this is constantly in motion, and there might be different things to talk about. But whenever in between my presentations something big happens, LinkedIn is where it goes. So again, thank you for being here with me. Thanks for having me, Ted. I appreciate it, and I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, well, Craig, thanks so much. I mean, I think that, my reaction to today's discussion and talk is that it's super inspiring, right? I mean, I think you gave, 25 different use cases that any professional who joined and listened to today's conversation could go give it a try. And I think when I look at when we talk to a lot of clients, I think the big challenge a lot of organizations have is the big disconnect between the people who kind of have gotten belief and are like leaning into this hard, and other people who are either skeptics or late adopters, or believe it's hype, or believe it's it's going to give you garbage content or whatever. And so I would just challenge everybody. Today's talk will be on our YouTube channel. Go to the SnapTech IT YouTube channel. If you liked what you heard from Craig's talk, share it with a colleague, share it with your business partner, share it with a peer, share it with a department manager, share it with that one person who raised their hand and who said they hated AI in a meeting, and challenge them to, just like think on this a little bit. I mean, because there's just no question that there's massive productivity and business development and growth opportunities from this technology, but you have to believe. You have to believe, and you have to invest the cycles to experiment. So let me do this. Let me go ahead and just give us a couple additional takeaways. I'm going to make myself the presenter again. Okay, here we go. All right, and just to kind of wrap us up a little bit, one thing we're doing for organizations that, to kind of to the point I was just making, where there's kind of a disconnect between, maybe even leadership or department managers, is what we call our AI Jumpstart. And this is to help an entire team just turbocharge and accelerate from where you are today. Because so many organizations that are struggling with this kind of disconnect between leadership that may just be really over the moon with this technology, and then other people in the business who aren't really investing the kind of cycles. And so we want to help create pathways to help you just leapfrog your competition, really get faster moving on the whole AI opportunity. So if you want to talk about an AI Jumpstart, please reach out to us. You can use the QR code on the left to book an appointment with SnapTech. And then a different sort of topic for our May webinar. You may have an IT provider and you may not be happy. And the title of this webinar is I Hate My Current IT Provider and What You Can Do About It. There's a lot you can do about it, is the point. There's a lot you can do before you would fire a vendor. There's a lot of things companies and vendors need to do to work better together. And we have a lot of experience helping organizations kind of navigate that part of the journey. So if you're interested in joining us for our May webinar, there's the QR code on the right. We'll wrap up here just about on time. So Craig Turner, thank you very much for joining us today. Very informative discussion. lots of inspiring next steps, I think, for everybody who participated. So thank you for that. Connect with Craig on LinkedIn, check him out on his website, and check out this talk on demand, especially if you want to share it with a colleague. With that, take care, everybody. We'll see you on a future webinar. Take care now.
Thanks so much.